Okay, you guys, today we're doing the chart 1, that is the pigment personalities chart. And I've got my quarter sheet of paper all taped off. I've run it down the middle of the paper and then leaving thirds. Here's where I'm gonna do some washes over top of ink to show whether they are granulators, opaque, or stains, or transparent and semi-transparent. I'm using an acrylic artist ink. I've also used India ink that's permanent and waterproof, and that should work good for you too. So here we go. Okay, now that I've got my India ink on there, or my acrylic artist ink, whatever it is, it's just got to be waterproof. I've got to wait for that to dry. So I've gone and washed my brush. I want to point out that I didn't use one of my nicer brushes. It's kind of just an acrylic brush that I had out. And when you wash it, wash with soap until the bubbles are clear, or white again anyway, and they're not gray, they're not black. Now I've got to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to start with my yellows and work into my reds, blues, green, and earth colors with just a wash on each of full strength, and then that has to dry too. All right, I've got my transparencies done here, and now as this is drying, I'm gonna move over here to where I'm gonna do wet on wet. So I'm gonna wet these first, and then we're gonna work on granulation here. So I'm gonna use some known granulators, cerulean, moving to cobalt, and then cadmium red, and then I might just experiment with a couple other colors. Down here, we're gonna do wet on wet again and grab some of those stains to show bleeding properties. And down here, I'm gonna do some calligraphy and just some line work that we'll mess with later. All right, everything is dry, and now the last thing that I'm gonna do is run a bead of water through these washes and see if I can't lift out that pigment. That's gonna tell us about the staining properties of these pigments. Over here, we're all done, so we can see the granulation that's in each of these, some more so just because of the nature of the pigments, and some naturally because of the water that we put in there. The main thing I can tell you on these stains and spreaders is just try to be consistent in how much water you put there and how much pigment you put in the corner. Just try to be consistent, and then you can really see the effects. I think I might have had more water in both of these, but and then the last thing we're gonna do is I've put these pigments down, and I wanna see if they're gonna spread at all when I run just clear water over the top. And on these dots, I'm going to run a glaze of cobalt and quinacridone rose and maybe another blue over here. Let's try ultramarine.